I thought we would start by checking in with Rose Maybud and Robin Oakapple to see how you guys are holding up during these these crazy times.
Oh, yes, all's been quite well here, and I feel so much more confident upon learning that transmissibility is at least a degree less likely through these sorts of calls. You see, it turns out that speakers just move the air already in the room, not the air from the other side. Well, to it, the past year has offered at least one silver lining. You see, committing my daily crime has become wickedly simple. In fact, I often commit 2 or even more on top of my already duty-bound tantamount to suicide criminal habits. You see, when passing someone in the street, I'll often maintain a mere 5.5 foot distance between us. Fully masked, though of course we're not barbarians. And upon returning home from a constitutional, I'll only wash my hands for 25 seconds instead of 30. Yes, I am a bad baronet.
Yes, dear, you are quite bad. Robin does, on occasion, resembleth all the youth in this village by going against CDC precautions. You see, there are those in this village who are wont to wear their masks beneath their noses and touch their faces in public. Because of the current events, you see, I have had to make some changes to my book of etiquette. It was a gift from my family. By its solemn precepts, I am wont to test the moral character of those who approach me. In truth, I have had to make some additions. For example, if somebody there chanced to be standing 5 feet close to you, do not point it out to me. Just take a step away. For 6 is safe and 7 better. Outside is nice if kind the weather. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and try to keep your space. Though tempting it may be to point when you spot a maskless youth. You may not point, you must not point. It's manner out of joint to point.
That was wonderful. Thank you guys for sharing. It sounds like the pandemic has not dampened either one of your spirits. Let's take a spin out to another royal couple, Queen Ida and Prince Hilarion. Queen Ida, how are you all holding up in Castle Adamant?
We're doing great, but I would like to make one small adjustment. It's Dr. Ida now.
My apologies.
No worries. Things have been going well, all things considered, as I mentioned. So we actually were able to solve the COVID crisis in about 2 months. We closed the gates, we put our best and brightest women onto the task, and we studied the science and actually were able to get everyone vaccinated, solve the virus. So we've actually been able to spend more time studying greater items such as art and music, poetry. We've even had the opportunity to be studying other viruses in the world in the hopes that we might be able to develop.
I grew a quarantine beard.
Yes. Hilarion makes a great beard.
That's wonderful. So you helped.
I helped.
That's tremendous. Dr. Ida, to what do you attribute your stunning successes in defeating the virus?
I really think it boils down to the perseverance and grit of my women. We really were able to just take this into task and think about what needed to be done and execute it accordingly. I really think it's just perseverance.
Well, it sounds like the secret to defeating the virus was just get rid of all the men.
You said it first.
Yeah. Is everyone in Castle Adamant as satisfied as you are?
Well, I think most of the women are quite happy, but I haven't been able to get in touch with my father, so I'm not quite sure how he's doing. Every time I reach out to him,
Where's the button?
Yes, that.
Button. Now,
we were having trouble hearing you, King Gama, and your video also appears to be upside down.
Well, you know it's upside down. It's upside down. I'll tell you why there's nobody here.
Well, we're still having trouble hearing you, Your Highness. And maybe if you want to come back to us, what's gotten your screen turned around and your sound, your technical difficulties figured out. While we're distracted by his royal nostrils, it might make sense to check in with some more royalty. This one of the otherworldly variety. We're honored to be graced by Her Highness the Fairy Queen from Fairyland itself. Thank you so much for taking the time. How has Fairyland fared under these pandemic restrictions?
Well, of course, we are lucky in the respect that as immortals, we are all still here. However, we are not immune from infection, and therefore the tripping hither and thither has been somewhat curtailed by the short of breathness that some of our ladies have suffered bouts with. But, you know, it doesn't dampen our spirits one whit. Excuse me. But, you know, we're doing our best. We're just working our stamina back up.
Yes, I'm sure you are. And how about the peers? Are they holding up as well as the fairies?
Oh, I couldn't say. They are, unfortunately, they seem to have suffered from the lack of oxygen to the brain that seems to afflict people. Of course, they're still walking around. They're fine, but I don't really have any idea what they've been up to. They don't accomplish even less than they were doing before.
I didn't know there could be any less than they were doing before. That's remarkable. That's quite scary. Well, I hope they recover, and on the topic of recovery or lack thereof, I think now would be a good time to check in with our Lord High Executioner, Coco, and his royal bride, Katisha. How have the executions been going there, Coco?
It's awfully hard to execute people from 6 feet away. My axe just isn't that long. I don't have the force. So there's been quite a backlog.
You don't want, you certainly don't want those about to be beheaded to be infected.
It's just so nerve-wracking. Everything is just, I've been getting contradictory advice from Poobah every day. He's been promoted to even higher positions of authority now, which is not great for the vaccine response here.
No one has included me in the decisions, but I do read the letters.
Now, how have you two been getting along? I hear that the two of you have seen no one else other than each other for the past year.
Oh, alone and yet alive, but there's no one to come admire my left shoulder blade or my right elbow, so it's a little lonely.
Oh, but and the times when we do go outside, as Rose was saying, we see just people flaunting restrictions left and right. My little list is not so little anymore. Oh, what do we have here? Anti-vaxxers, people who wear their masks incorrectly.
Below the nose.
Oh, yes, below the nose. Hilarion, it just says beard. Well,
I believe this thing is broken. What exactly is it in each cable? Where is it? Where do you put it? You plug it in? Is it a little one? Is it a big one? Is it in the front? Is it in the back? I think it's broken.
Sounds like we're still having some difficulties with King Gama. Hopefully he'll join us soon. In the meantime, let's over to our favorite pirate, Ruth. We were all ready to sail the 7 seas with you last year when 2 days before opening, the whole city went into lockdown and we had to postpone. Ruth, how has quarantine been for the Pirates of Penzance?
Well, it hasn't been easy. We have, of course, been taking ships per usual, but every time we take a ship and we abide by the 2-week quarantine before we go aboard, the ship is gone by the time we get to the end of the 2 weeks. But you know, it's okay. Frederick has gotten married to Mabel, and they're expecting their first child, and it's wonderful. I couldn't be happier. But I have a new Frederick, and he loves me very much. He tells me every day how much he loves me. And I have a wonderful sourdough starter. I named her Buttercup, though I could never tell why. But look how beautiful my baby is.
That's wonderful, Ruth. I'm glad you've been trying to keep busy during these trying times. Now, on the topic of loneliness, let's check in with our favorite poet, well, second favorite poet, Reginald Bunthorne. How is married life with your single Lily?
Well, I know everyone has been having a hard time during this entire thing, but I don't believe I'm being too hyperbolic when I say no one in the entire world, on any of the continents or anywhere in our solar system, has suffered as much as I have. Yes, weep for the depths of my sorrow. For I know most marriages have suffered during this time, but just a few weeks ago, my dear Lili left me, uprooted and gone, never telling me from whence our problems stemmed, from where they rose. And I feel as if our entire relationship is now soiled. But fear not, for as always, I have transmuted my deep, deep suffering into glorious poetry, the goddess of our language. And as I am so charitable, I shall share it with you. To understand it correctly, it is only needed that you shall follow the CDC guidelines of wearing 7 masks and cling to each other passionately while socially distanced. It is called quarantine of the body, lockdown of the soul. Oh. Thank you.
Well, that was it's been wonderful to hear from all of you. I know some of you have been having a difficult time, but hopefully this call has cheered you all up, because soon the vaccines will be distributed. And that's a message of hope, really. You know, with the vaccine now, things are finally looking up. The numbers are getting better, and you know,
no bloody way. Things are looking up. Things are gonna be bad for a long time. You know, the Tars and I have been trying to keep our balls whistling free over the Black Blue Sea. We've been chopping up all the sails and making masks. But you know what? We're gonna be wearing masks for a long bloody time. And no one's gonna be going to the damn theatre. You wanna sit around in a theatre with a bunch of other bloody people breathing their air? I don't care if they've all got on masks. It's not gonna get any better.
Now, I don't think that's quite true.
How dare you?
Absolutely
Correct.
not.
Happy
They're on the list.
You know what? Let's get him out of the chat. Get out of here. Get him.
Good Jedi. We don't want
Well, gosh, I was feeling so much better. I think we were all feeling so much better, and well, now I'm bummed out. I mean, maybe Dick Deadeye's right. Maybe even when things get back to quote unquote normal, people still won't come to the theater to see us. It's the Queen.
As I am your queen, it is my hope that my message to you this evening brings some comfort. We've seen that people have risen magnificently to the challenges of the year, and we hope that all have found some joyous moments of hope and light despite social distancing. I myself have been socially distancing from you all for years, and it's really not so difficult once you set your mind to it. I do believe that in many ways, this time apart has brought us closer together. You all have lived through 2 pandemics, 2 world wars, and the British invasion, and you are still the same band of topsy-turvy misfits you've always been and always will be. My message to you all is merely to say that we will persevere in these difficult and unpredictable times. Keep calm and carry on. And we will see you very soon in the theater.